Good afternoon, everyone. I'll call the meeting to order, that being the regular council meeting of Warwick Township Council, February 12th, 2024. Remind the council of disclosure of pecuniary interest or conflict of interest. Does anybody have one to declare at this time? Seeing none. I also welcome everybody who's viewing through our YouTube channel. And I'm now going to do the acknowledgement of ancestral lands. We acknowledge that the land on which we are gathered here today, Township of Warwick, is located on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, as well as the many Indigenous nations in Ontario whose footsteps have marked them for centuries. We also wish to acknowledge that we are situated on Treaty 29 and Treaty 25 territories signed by Chippewa chiefs, and we offer our respect and gratitude for these lands. Council, I'll take you to number 5 on the agenda. That's minutes of the previous council meeting. That being the meeting of January 29th, 2024. Does anybody have any questions or comments on those minutes? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve. Councillor Manning and Deputy Mayor Kallenberg, all in favor? That is carried. Thank you. And there's no business arising from those meetings, Madam Clerk? Thank you. Taking to number 7, Council, scheduled meetings and events. 7A, there's a variety of them there. And then 7B is another grouping as well, including the Ontario Good Roads Association Conference. If anybody has any questions or comments, please see the clerk or the deputy clerk and bring them up to speed on what you're thinking. Let's go to number 8 on our agenda, Council. Let's go to Councilors' commitments and items. Does anybody have any commitment dates they'd like to add to the list at this time? Yes, Councilor Westgate.
I'd like to add August the 1st to August the 6th.
Thank you, Councillor. Anybody else at this time? Seeing none, very good. We're going to go to 8B, Councillors' items and verbal reports. I'll start with you, Councillor Manning, today. Did you have anything?
I have nothing today, thank you.
Deputy Mayor Kallenberg?
Yeah, I just want to bring up, received an email from Nate Smith. He was the guy who built our bike park. I think I forwarded it to everyone. Just wonder if maybe we could have him look at it, and he's got a few ideas. Maybe we can bring it back to life in a smaller scale, but I just wanted to bring it to everybody's attention. So.
Okay, so Councillor, do you want to make that a motion of sorts to at least have it looked at, maybe have Ryan speak to him about options?
Yeah, I'll make that a motion that we at least look at it with Nate and go from there.
Good. Do we have a seconder to that motion? Councillor Manning? Any further discussion on that? Okay, so Ryan, you're clear on that? Very good. I'll call the question. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Anything else today, Deputy Mayor? No? Councillor Westgate.
Yes, I've been approached by John Ruth and John Leckman that were at our last meeting about the job on Sunset. And we're proposing on putting a 5-foot smooth wall culvert in there. He suggested to me that we should probably go bigger than that. When Mike was here, I had asked Mike if a 5-foot would do a rain like we had, and he said no. And I don't expect we should try and do a rain like we had at that time. But since we're doing the work on Sunset anyway, and John had prices for pipes and stuff here, and it looks like to put a 6-foot culvert in would probably only cost us 20 to 30 grand. And on John Street, we've still only got a 4-foot culvert there, where someday we're probably, when we do work there, we're going to have to upgrade that. And even down on Warwick Street, anything to the east of that, we still do have big water problems. In my lifetime on council, we've had 3 major backups in that area. Of course, they were all major rains. But I think when we're doing the street, that would pay to have us look at what we're doing and try and fix at least the down end into the stream. And it just seems like they're getting bigger and bigger rains all the time, and they're coming more often. I'd just like council to look at that.
Thank you, Councillor Westgate. Anybody else have a comment on that before I turn it over to Andrew, maybe for a comment? Anybody on council? Yes, Deputy Mayor.
You said 20 to 30,000, but I'm looking at the sheet that and it's only like 7,000 or 8,000 more.
I believe that's just for the pipe. By the time you do another little bit of excavation and stuff. I know when they estimate something like that, it'll be all in the computer and a 6-inch pipe will be, a 6-foot pipe will be so much and a 5-foot pipe will be so much. So I would imagine it's more than just the 10,000 for the pipe.
Okay. So I did have an opportunity this morning, when I was in the office to speak to Andrew a little bit about this. And, Andrew, I'll turn it over to you for comment if you don't mind.
Thanks, Mayor Case. So to address the first question, yeah, I think you're correct by saying it may not handle the storm that we received on the 23rd. However, I think it was around a 3.5. I think Mike said it, but a 3.5 size increase from what's there now. Of course, the estimate, we would have to get a more detailed estimate. Just going from a 1,500 to an 1,800 is around 40% increase in steel. So I think we would have to double check those numbers that were provided. Plus there's a manhole size that would have to increase. That would be alone at least $15,000. So there are some significant increases in costs, and it really would be up to council's wishes if they wanted to explore a size bigger. I know the engineer provided what they felt was adequate for the situation, but of course the council's welcome to look for additional information at any time.
Yeah, even if it's more money than what we've been talking about here, I think while we're doing it, I mean, it's gonna be there for a lot of years. And we are gonna have to fix upstream yet on that whole line. So we're gonna have the water coming down faster yet. So if it's 50,000 or, maybe we should be doing it. If we're gonna do it, we don't wanna dig the street up again down the road in 20 years or 10 years.
Councillor Morris.
It took me a minute to get mute off. I agree with Councillor Westgate. I think we should make it a direction to staff to ask the engineers to do an estimate on the original 5-foot and the 6-foot so we can actually get the figures.
Thank you, Councillor Morris. So anybody else have anything they want to bring up for this item? We would need a motion if we're asking for staff to do more investigation on the costing of this. I think that's what you're asking for, Councillor Westgate. You're making that motion to investigate the costing. And do we have a seconder to that motion? Councillor Morris, you're seconding that? Very good. So is that clear enough for you, Andrew? Do you need any other instruction with that motion?
Nope, that's clear. I'm going to be getting an additional price on 1,800 mil culvert because we already have the 5-foot.
Councillor Westgate.
If we went with the plastic pipe, like the corrugated pipe instead of the steel pipe, we could probably go 1.5 feet bigger and still the pipe would be less. So I don't know whether we want to look at that or not too. I know the corrugated pipe slows the water down.
Yeah, this particular pipe is smooth wall on the inside, so I believe it's a hybrid. I'm not. Are you suggesting a plastic corrugated pipe? I would have to double check that it is manufactured in that size. I know there is a limit for strength, so but that's certainly something we could investigate. Different options.
Okay, I can't remember. Did I have a seconder to that motion? Yes, very good. Any further discussion? All in favor? That's carried. And just for the people that are tuning in home, we're having a little issue with our microphone system today where the camera's not picking up everybody. We're trying to work our way through it. So we will try to get that taken care of. Councillor Morris, did you have anything today for councillor items?
No, I do not.
All right. Thank you, Councillor Morris. I have one particular item here I'd like to bring up. It's something that's been brought to my attention at my time at the arena. And it's about the cleanliness of the arena itself at times. It seems to be on the weekends. I haven't witnessed it myself. I've shared this with staff. I've talked to Ryan, talked to Amanda about it, but it seems to be an ongoing issue with consistency, I'll say, of how the arena is kept up to speed from a cleanliness standpoint. So I just wanted to make sure that many people have asked me about it in the last little while. Just want to make sure that we have spoken to staff about it. We've raised the issue. And Ryan, did you want to speak to this at all?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Case. Certainly address with our operations staff, ensure that improvements to our processes and corrective actions are followed through on. And we'll certainly look at some ways to further address and improve our maintenance standards and internal operations.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. There's been some ongoing complaints. I know Ryan's trying to correct the issue with his staff, and we'll go from there. So thank you very much. Otherwise, the only other thing I wanted to bring everybody's attention is our constant struggle to bring natural gas into our community. And this provincial government seems to be more concentrated on hydro improvements, for which we also need those as well when it comes to three-phase hydro and things like that. So there is some correspondence a little later on today from Enbridge that actually speaks to that. So I'll maybe speak to it a little more at that point in time, but it is a constant struggle for us when we're dealing with, as everybody here knows, dealing with the provincial government, trying to find that funding that they provided to so many communities for years and years to be able to expand our services, but something that we continue to work on, and we'll go from there. So I just want to make sure everybody's aware of that. So thank you. Okay, we're going to go to staff items. And we have a verbal update from Ryan Chammy on the Parks and Recreation on the film premiere that's going to happen this weekend. There's also a poster attached in your package. Ryan, please.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Case, and to council. Just a quick update similar to the previous update on this great community activity. So the Township of Warwick, Our Journey Through Time, a film by Paul Janes. So the premiere will take place on February 17th. 2 screenings, one in the afternoon at the Warwick Community Center at 1 p.m., the second in the evening, 6 p.m. Doors open 6:30 p.m. Film premiere at the ELCC. It is certainly open to the community and free to attend. Light refreshments and popcorn will be provided. It's a film that Paul Janes has worked quite hard at. It's been a labor of love for him over the past couple of years, to say the least. But the film covers the history of Warwick between 1832 and 1952. Yeah, I think we're just looking forward to having it premiere in the community, and invite everyone to come out to attend. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Ryan. I'm sure it'll be great. They also had they did an awful lot of work on our history book from years gone by and did a great job. I'm going to add one more staff item. We'll call it 9B on the agenda. It's a verbal update from Amanda Gulls. Amanda, please.
Thank you, Mayor Case, and thank you for allowing an add-in verbal update to the agenda. I wanted to share with council, the township has recently become aware that we have not formally appointed a member of council to sit as the alternate county council representative in Mayor Case's absence. This was missed following the election. After some informal correspondence, I was advised a formal resolution is required. As is our past practice, the alternate to county council is automatically the deputy mayor position. But I am seeking a formal motion of council so that I may make that appointment official with the county moving forward. And I have Mayor Case taken the liberty of drafting a motion for council's consideration, which would read, if so moved, that Warwick Township Council appoints Deputy Mayor John Cowenberg as the alternate member and Warwick representative at Lambton County Council.
All right. Thank you very much. Is that moved by Councillor Westgate and seconded by Councillor Manning? That's unanimous. Thank you, Amanda. And thank you, John. Only a heartbeat away, as I say. Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Let's go to delegation and timed events. We do not have any today. 11 is 11A and B. We'll do accounts, or pardon me, the report first. Does anybody have any questions on the GL report? Give everybody a chance to get there. Not seeing any questions on the GL. How about the accounts payable, council? Does anybody have any questions on the accounts payable today? Yes, Deputy Mayor Kallenberg.
Just a question, there's an invoice for Spreets for the new community center. Is that just, was at the end of the year, so I don't know if that was catch up or just curious what it was for.
Great question, Councillor Kronberg. That's what I said when we got it also. It is a catch-up invoice from a third party who did one of our energy assessments for one of the grants we received for the facility, and their billing was provided quite late to Spreet. It was not on their radar, so it's a pass-through from Spreet. I have been assured it is the last bill associated with that grant and process. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Councillor Westgate.
I would just like to ask, do we have a budget or a surplus from last year? I know some of we've got in our budget for this year. And on one, say the general government, for instance, our budget revenue was, we had budgeted, or I guess we got in 6,000 or something, and or 6,600,000. And the year to date, or we expected our budget would be 6,642,000, and year to date was only 4,000 or 4,458,000. Where's the difference there?
Through your mayor, we haven't finished the year yet. We will be doing transfer entries to move money accordingly to one area to the other. And for the general government, that's where the taxation comes in. It'll go through to other areas for which we're under budget to offset it. We will have a surplus probably, and it'll be announced during the final audit, which will probably be in August, which is generally when we do. But we're trending towards a surplus.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm still on here. I guess, so this is a little bit behind. It's not
It's
year
not.
end by any means.
It's definitely not year end. We haven't closed the
Okay.
year end probably yet.
That makes more sense.
All right, anybody else have any questions? If there are no more questions, I would ask for a motion to approve both. Deputy Mayor Kallenberg, Councillor Westgate is seconding that. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Okay, let's go to number 12, our consent agenda, council. Does anybody have any questions on A to E, or is there anything of the non-action correspondence on 12A that you want to pull out? If not, I will pull out one piece, and that is 02-21, and that's the resolution from our friends in Petrolia. And that is the resolution that talks about getting the Roma and Good Roads Conference to unite as one conference again, as it was in the past, eliminating a conference once a year. It makes good economic sense. And I'll make a motion to support that if there's a seconder to that. Seconded by Councillor Westgate. Any further discussion? All in favor? That's carried. Does anybody else have anything on the non-action they'd like to pull out? Or anything from A to E? If not, we can approve that, receive and file as amended with a motion. Deputy Mayor Kallenberg,
I'll move.
moved by Deputy Mayor Kallenberg, seconded by, oh, sorry, Wayne, Councillor, Wayne? Sorry, Wayne, I forgot about you up there. I don't forget about you when you're sitting here with me, so seconded by Councillor Morris. Any further discussion? All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Okay, let's go to reports and items requiring a motion. The first is the action correspondence. There's two pieces. The first one is 02-22. And this is the piece that I spoke about during my comments a few minutes ago. And this is the Enbridge piece on natural gas. And I wondered how council wished to deal with that. This again is crucial to communities like ours that need the expansion in our area. And basically this speaks to the fact that the provincial government has taken more of a turn towards more efficiencies when it comes to electric power uses, which our problem is, as is the problem for most rural communities, is the grid is not big enough for even what our existing needs are. So it makes it impossible for us to be part of those other scenarios, making natural gas very important. As we all know, we are underserviced. And we do have this bit of a quest when it comes to working with the provincial government to get this done. How does council wish to deal with that piece of correspondence? That's Enbridge looking for support. Moved by Councillor Westgate. Seconded by Councillor Manning. Any further discussion? Councillor Westgate.
Since they are going to be producing gas at the landfill out here, there's some different stories that I've been told why people can't come off the gas line on its, as it's going out to Brook to go into the grid. I was wondering, and one of them was that it wasn't a constant pressure and it wasn't, I see no reason why the gas company could not put something on the system there to backfeed into it so that people would have a constant supply and be able to tap into that line on the way out. I don't know how many people would involve, but I know it would involve quite a few. And I don't know how much that would cost to do it or if it's even possible.
So all I can say to that, council, is in our discussions with Enbridge going back to over a year ago, just after we were sworn in, meetings with them, asking if there was any way we could reverse that or find a way to utilize it. It was very much a no, that it couldn't happen, that things had already been designed in such a way. I think we asked the question, Amanda and I met with them. I think we asked the question more than one different way. Amanda, did you recall or remember anything other than what I just stated, other than they said it wasn't something that could be done, even if we tried to explore different areas?
That is my recollection, Mayor Case. We have as a township requested a number of times, both through Enbridge and Waste Management, about the opportunities to provide additional service as a result of the renewable natural gas facility. We certainly can continue to explore that, but to date, we have been advised that it is not part of the project plan.
But in saying that, Councillor, we can always go back to Enbridge again, especially in light of the correspondence they've sent us today and the other frustrating issues we're having as a municipality trying to get the government to put the funding in place for our community. For once again, I remind everybody, which was approved 5 years ago, only to be snatched away, and that resource went to another community elsewhere. So that's something we can explore. We can make a call. Maybe what we can do is have a motion to investigate further with Enbridge on this issue. I think the timing is good in lieu of the correspondence we received. Did you wish to make a motion around that, Councillor Westgate?
Yes, I can make that motion.
Very good. Do we have a seconder? Deputy Mayor Kallenberg, any further discussion or add on to the motion potentially? Seeing none, call the question. All in favor? That's carried. I see Councillor Morris's hand up there, clear as a bell this time. Very good. So the other piece of action correspondence we have before us today is 0223, and it's the grade 8 graduating class from St. Peter Canisius, and they're asking for some support and putting their graduation on. They talk about some of the things they're doing and their correspondence to raise funds for the grade 8 graduation trip. How does council wish to deal with this particular item? Yes, Madam Clerk. Please.
Thank you, Mayor Case. Just before council's discussion, I do want to make a procedure note. This type of correspondence related to the fee waiving for a facility specifically is typically referred to our Parks and Recreation Committee for consideration. And unfortunately, it was at the Parks and Recreation Committee already. Thank you. And Ryan would be able to tell you of the decision that they made if you were looking to understand that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, through the mayor. And that request did come through our fee waiver application process and discussed at the Parks and Recreation Committee meeting, where it was a motion was made and seconded and approved by the committee to bring back to this council approval to waive those fees for the St. Peter Canisius grade 8 graduation as requested in their application.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Ryan. It's good for us to know that. The letter did come to us as addressed, so it's good to know. And does council need to bless that Madam Clerk, at the end of the day, I think really at the end of the day, we take recommendations from that committee. And then we have to make a motion to approve or doesn't. So I'm correct on that? Okay, how does council wish to deal with the issue and the advice from the Parks and Rec? Deputy Mayor Kallenberg.
I'll move the motion as read by the Parks and Rec Committee.
You sir, do we have a seconder? Second by Councillor Westgate. Any discussion, further discussion on the item? Seeing none. All in favor? Oh, sorry. Deputy Mayor, did you have something you wanted to add?
I just wonder if this should be part of our standard list, because I think it's gonna happen every year, but maybe not.
Councillor Westgate.
I think before COVID, we did have a recommendation that we let the two schools use the old Centennial Hall for their graduation night or dinner every year. So I don't know if that's still in effect or not.
So maybe what we could do for today is we have a mover and a seconder onto this item. And then next year at budget time, we can refer this to our list and speak to both schools. And usually what they do in something like, in a case like that, correct me if I'm wrong, the process, they write a letter to council to be considered at budget. So if council is good with that, that's always been the procedure. We can do that. We can deal with this one today as a one-off, and then we can maybe have correspondence going back to both schools suggesting the process and for them to be able to do it. Because I think you make a good point, Deputy Mayor. This will keep coming up, and we obviously want to support our local schools. Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Okay. And then the next is 13B, and that's our accessibility compliance reports. And there is a recommendation to approve unless there's any questions on that. Does anybody have any questions on that particular report? It's well done reports, as always. Who would like to bless the report? Councillor Manning is moving it, seconded by Deputy Mayor Kallenberg. Oh, sorry, seconded by Councillor Morris. Sorry, Councillor Morris, I keep missing you on the screen there. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Okay, let's go to see if we could, and this is the awarding of a tender for the Parker Drain. There is a recommendation that the tender for the Parker Drain 2023 be awarded to Van Bree Drainage and Bulldozing Limited for a cost of $565,090 plus HST. Total cost of $638,551.70, period. Who would like to do the honors, or is there any discussion on it? Moved by Deputy Mayor Kallenberg, seconded by Councillor Morris. Did I see your hand? Nope, I didn't see his hand. Oh, he's frozen. Seconded by Councillor Westgate. Got a question, Councillor Westgate?
Yes, I do have one question. I see there's a couple of them are done in March and two are in July. I was just wondering if the farmers would like to pay that extra money and have it done before the crops go in.
Thanks, Councillor Westgate. I haven't received any correspondence from any farmers that would wish to pay more. I believe that would also open us up for legalities if you don't take the lowest bidder and you don't have a really good reason. I mean, perhaps that could be one. There's also grant funding from the government involved, and when you don't take the lowest bidder, there may be questions from the Ontario government why we're not using the best pricing.
Okay, that's fine.
I have my mover and seconder. I'm going to call the question. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Any new business today? Council? Anybody? Seeing none? So that concludes our open session for today's council meeting. We will now be going into closed session. Thank you very much to everybody that's tuned in today. I need a motion to go in camera. Pursuant to section 239 of the Municipal Act 2001, amended for the following reasons. A matter regarding personnel matters about identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. And number three, a matter regarding proposed of pending acquisition of or disposition of land by the municipality or local board, section 239. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Councillor Manning, thank you. And Deputy Mayor Kallenberg, thank you. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you.